Been a while since I used that intro. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Sean Thoughts. I wanted to get a video out today. By the time you're seeing this, I am away seeing family. But I wanted to talk about Kratos versus Asura and how hyped I've been for it and what my first impressions are of what I've seen and heard so far. I was going to record this earlier, but then a bunch of news literally dropped in like the past hour about more details about this. Mostly because the premiere is up. That's actually why you're seeing this on screen. This is not something that I made. This is on Death Battle's channel. And you can even see the little trailer thing because it plays the trailer of the animation that was shown on Cast as well. So this is from the actual Death Battle channel. No artist made this one, as far as I am aware. But I wanted to take some time to talk about my first thoughts about Kratos vs. Asura, what I'm looking forward to for it. And holy hell was Devil Artemis killing with this animation. So what was said on Devil Artemis's Twitter, he said, and I quote, this came out today. Just to clarify, that around 9 minutes post I made earlier includes extra content beyond the actual fight. Things like the Kickstarter promo, the fight itself is around 6 minutes. Everything will be in a single video. That's insane to think about though, like a 6-minute fight with this, and you did 9 minutes of content in total for this episode. I think it's insane. And of course, it is going to be part of it is definitely for the Kickstarter promo as well, which again, everything I've seen about this is really exciting and really, really fun. As for the stuff in the animation that we do see, I think it's a fantastic choice. There's a cool aspect that Mithra is probably going to play a part in this animation since it's going for a more cinematic vibe, which I think is a really nice detail, especially for those who played Asura's Wrath and are looking forward to hearing more about the game. It's a cool detail about it, and it could explain a little bit of the story about why these two are actually fighting, as well as more context for what Zeus says in the trailer that Devil Artemis made back when the Kickstarter launched for Death Battle again. The voices that we do hear are from Muhammad Hussein Muhammad, forgive me if I'm butchering your name, and I think his Kratos sounds phenomenal. On the Death Battle cast this showed, which was LeBron vs. Sora, he even made a comment saying that this was a character he was looking forward to voicing because it's been a dream of his, and I think his Kratos sounds phenomenal, and it's really cool that he can live the dream just like Austin Lee Matthews did as Poe. As for Asura, he's being voiced by Christopher Guerrero. We haven't seen Christopher Guerrero since I want to say it was Saberwolf, so about 4 or 5 years or so since Chris's last performance. And him as Asura just makes the most sense to me because Christopher has voiced a Liam O'Brien character before in Gara, and I thought his Gara was really good, and hearing his Asura I think is also really, really good. I think that these two voice actors are going to kill it when it comes to this episode, and I am super looking forward to hearing more of these lines. Like that ending line I hear from Asura, like, "Death to all gods" is such a good line. Another cool thing about this episode is also today from DJ Tiki over on his social media account, on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, saying that the Dastardly Kratos vs. Asura is the second longest episode of all time. And here's the context. This was provided by Robuscus. Shout out to Robuscus down in the description. Naruto vs. Ichigo is the current record holder for that episode. That is 28 minutes and 17 seconds in total, which I imagine includes like all the sponsorships and everything that they have to do, which is insane to me that we're getting something nearing 30 minutes, but not going over 30 minutes because that would put it near Goku vs. Superman 1, because that's the longest episode of all time. However, as stated earlier with this thumbnail, that means the premiere is up, which means people got to see some cool stuff in the description down below. And there's a couple cool things that I see in the description. For example, this battle score is going to be composed by Theirwolf Media, which I think is really cool. Theirwolf Media was last on for Among Us vs. Fall Guys with Sussy Beans, and getting them on again is phenomenal. What's cooler as well is that they are featuring Chick Named Ed, which is the vocalist, I believe, back on not just Forever Terror Night, but also the Galactus vs. Unicron track. So having Chick Named Ed come back on is a phenomenal choice. I'm really excited to hear this soundtrack with the fight and on its own. I think that's going to be fantastic. However, one of the final thing I do want to point out is the casting and vocal direction is run by Marissa Lenti. she is back after we last saw her in season 9. Season 9 was her last season. And it's awesome to have her back, and I do hope this is permanent. If not, it's awesome still to have Marissa back on. And she introduced us to so many VAs in the past. It's just really cool to have her on the show again in just some way, shape, or form. Now, I do want to point out that yes, someone did figure out exactly how long this episode's going to be. Am I going to say that in the video? No. It makes sense for these two to have such a long episode, mostly because of the analysis for both these two is going to be long and talking a lot about not just Kratos' past and his current stuff, but also what they can do based off the science and numbers because of how their scaling works in both their universes. The fight itself we talked about is going to be 6 minutes itself. And then, of course, you have the post-analysis breaking down everything, which is needed for this episode because it's been a headache for some. And not so much for me because I kind of figured still, regardless of what happens with scaling, a person should win or not. While I do have a personal bias pick, I'm still excited for this episode in general, so I'm not going to let the decision of who actually wins this episode weigh down too much. I think it's still going to be regardless of who wins the episode, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, folks, for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave your thoughts down below once again, and I shall see you, folks, Sunday for the reaction to Kratos versus Asura. Have a good night, everybody.